Andersen Air Force Base, Guam, will soon prove the ability of small groups of airmen to turn 4th and 5th generation aircraft on a flight line. The base commander called a no-kidding remote environment. The exercise is one of many that fall under the Agile Combat Employment concept, aimed at increasing U.S. Air Force ability to use austere locations for combat operations. For this year's iteration of COPE North, Andersen's Northwest Field will host F-35 from Eielson Air Force Base, Alaska, and F-16 from Misawa Air Base, Japan, on the rough airfield that until now has only hosted C-130 and helicopter operations. Small groups of contingency response airmen will quickly clear the airfield to allow fighters to come in and conduct combat turns, practicing PACLF vision of agile combat employment, said General Jeremy T. Sloan, commander of the 36th Wing at Andersen, during an Air Force Association Air and Space Warfighters in Action virtual event. Being able to operate from small, rough airfields is a requirement as the Defense Department shifts its focus to great power competition where major airfields could be at risk in a fight, he said. China and Russia can increasingly hold overseas U.S. bases at risk. To adapt, the Air Force must evolve from its dependence on well-established airfields or risk building an operational edge, Sloan said. While the service can overcome some disadvantage with long-range bombers, a war in which missiles knock out American air base and prevent the ability to launch and recover short-range fighter jets is unlikely to end well. Andersen's Northwest Field sits in deep jungle and is less than 8,000 feet long, with limited taxiway and hangar space and no permanent airfield controls. The pavement is rough, and only helicopter and C-130 have used it recently, Sloan said. A temporary mobile aircraft arresting system is being built for the event. For the exercise, the contingency response airmen will quickly clear the airstrip and ensure it is safe for F-16 and F-35 to come in, refuel, and turn the aircraft for combat operations. COPE North is Andersen's yearly trilateral exercise, alongside the Japan Air Self-Defense Force and Royal Australian Air Force, featuring about 100 aircraft and 2,500 personnel. Last year, F-22 conducted a hot pit refueling from a C-130J for the first time in Palau, another remote location. Andersen is the U.S. military's farthest west sovereign operating base, which is key to operations, but it also makes it a target, Sloan said. China released a propaganda film last year, showing its long-range bombers targeting the base. At the time, PACLF called it an attempt to coerce and intimidate the region, but it also highlights the importance of ACE, as well as the need for diplomacy and planning with nearby allies to ensure access to more potential operating bases, Sloan said. Relationship with small Pacific Island nation could be key in operational planning. U.S. Air Force F-35A Lightning II from the 354th Fighter Wing, Eielson Air Force Base, Alaska, arrived at Marine Corps Air Station Iwakuni, Japan, December 3 to execute Operation Iron Dagger. Their arrival signals the continuing effort to support the U.S. Indo-Pacific Command's Dynamic Force Employment (DFE) concept through Agile Combat Employment ACE, which supports the National Defense Strategy effort to conduct training with joint partners while maintaining global peace and security. The operation includes a cross-section of airmen from the 354th FW. During the deployment, the U.S. Air Force has integrated with U.S. Marine Corps F-35B Lightning II from 3 Marine Expeditionary Force to strengthen partnership and enhance joint capabilities, maintain readiness to fulfill U.S. obligations under the Mutual Security Treaty to defend Japan. and ensure a free and open Indo-Pacific. This DFV operation has demonstrated our ability to rapidly mobilize and deploy fifth-generation air power across the Indo-Pacific theater, said U.S. Air Force Colonel David Birkeland, 354th Air Expeditionary Wing Commander. It's been a great opportunity for the 354th FW team to refine ACE operations, strengthen partnership, and sharpen joint interoperability. The 354th FW ability to sustain ACE operations through persistent logistics has already been validated through multiple exercises in the region. Operation Iron Dagger provides the opportunity to refine critical warfighting capabilities, such as Joint All-Domain Command and Control, JADC2, and multi-capable airmen. JADC2 is a true all-domain structure to modernize command and control of the joint force and our international partners, said Chief Master Sergeant John Locken, 354th EWA Command Chief. Those that make it happen are multi-capable airmen. They are trained in tasks outside their career field to decrease our footprint and provide a more lean and agile force. The National Defense Strategy directs U.S. forces to develop a lethal, agile, and resilient force posture. Operations like Iron Dagger allow U.S. force to be strategically predictable and operationally unpredictable in the Indo-Pacific region. Pacific Air Forces is committed to enabling a flexible theater posture that will increase Department of Defense options for proactive and scalable employment of the joint force during conflict.